All right. Hey, everybody. And by everybody, I mean anybody who happens to show up. How are y'all doing? Happy Sunday. Move that out of the way. Oh, right. Before I started, I did want to show off a little something. This is not the Athena, as y'all might guess. This is actually my Mons Geek M1 TMR. So this is my Hall effect. I have the new HMX, what are they called? HMX Moonlight. The new HMX Moonlight switches, and they are essentially the same as the AE boards Reds, but they have a milky housing. And I say essentially because the housing is a little bit different. I would say that it is a little bit thinner than the Reds. The Reds feel a little bit more substantial, but let's see if I can get it to do it. There you go. So if you push these in too far, they stay. Fun. And you can just pop them out because it's just a rubber dome. Magnetic switch. I've never actually tried it on here, and that's because there is something that stops these from going too deep, whereas this lacks that mechanism. So you can push them all the way in. Or you can push them too far in. I think I got it past it. There it is. Okay. So yeah, but otherwise, once you have them in, because they sit flat, they don't really have a problem. But yeah, the rubber dome feels a little bit weaker. It's the same force though, and feels the same. Sounds the same, which is to say, it sounds like nothing at all. There's just a little bit of a sound, which is the housing. We'll call it housing rattle. It's just like other, like EC boards and stuff like that. There's just that faint sound. But yeah, in case anybody's interested in having their RGB so yeah, it gives off really good RGB if you are if you're into that, if your Hall effect board supports it. Obviously the Reds, there's no way for light to escape like a black hole, so you don't get that. But anyway, I thought that was fun. A little bit of a palette cleanser to start. My Reds currently aren't on a board. I'm probably going to put them on something, but currently not. So, but we actually have a lot to get through here today with the Athena. Oof. So this is the Athena by Nixkeys, and they were kind enough to send this over to me to take a look at. Mine is, I believe, a prototype board. What's going on, Resident Yappa? How are you doing today? I'm excited. The case, which has a simple sticker on the front. Again, I don't know if this is indicative of the case you'll get. Usually they do come in cases, I believe, but they may look different. I think that they have insignia in other places, although the sticker itself is kind of neat. I'm kind of digging it. This is their logo for the company. Let's go ahead and open this up. See what we have on the inside. We have different durometer gaskets, as well as the rubber feet, 40, 60, and 80. This is the proto case, yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, that's what I thought. And that is nice. We have some stickers for the Athena and for Nixkeys. Ooh, are the stickers the... Yeah, I gotta go back to work tomorrow. Well, actually, I'm on call today. Theoretically, I could get pulled away from this stream, but yeah, so that's cool. I'm digging the stickers, by the way. I love stickers. I don't know why. Set that to the side. Nice bags. Nice zippers on the top. You don't have to futz around with them like on the Qwertys. And then we have some. I think it's all of our. We have a plate fork. We'll set that off to this side. The PC plate. The polypropylene and the aluminum plate. We will be trying all 3 plates today, so see what we can get through on the build. Set that off to the side. Here's our PCB. I think I'm going to pull that too much. I think I'm just going to cut this tape. Should be just packing tape, so once you get it started, it should just open up. This tape over. Okay, don't force anything. Down. How is y'all's Sunday going? Y'all having a good one? I use a lot of y'alls because I am from the South. You can tell by my thick Southern drawl. Oh. Oh, like this. So we have our PCB, and we will check and see what options we have. First of all, it is a pogo connector, which I love to see. ISO support, split backspace. 7U support, split split left shift, as well as stepped caps. So that is, and we can even split the space bar, it looks like. I like how this is done, where this entire bottom row is done horizontally so that they can fit everything in neatly, and I enjoy that. Same with the ISO. That is what I expect. That is what I normally see when they are when it offers ISO support, even if it doesn't include the ISO support. If it's potentially offered. Oh, I saw that you were building a Kohaku. I missed it though. I wanted to see that. How do you like it? I respect the Kohaku. Let me just say that. So we have an on, not on button, which is great. Because then nobody is off. You were surprised. I mean, I wouldn't be, well, I guess it depends on what sound profile you prefer, but I'm not necessarily surprised that a Kohaku is. And I opened this to make sure that everything had made it here properly. So that's why this is not wrapped around it yet, but we love this cloth. And very nice. Then we have the case itself. So we'll take this out. So I was hoping, well, I was sort of hoping and sort of not hoping that the. By the way, I love this. This I don't know if the case itself is a prototype and you ended up with the same case, but I love this feel of the inside of this case. A lot of times with a lot of cases, it's great to have a hard case, but doesn't feel as premium as something like this, where the inside is like that. It's like almost like suede. And here's our weight. So this is the brass weight with the owl logo on the bottom. It is patinaed. And here, let's go ahead and we'll open this real quick so that we can get the full effect, because obviously I have not opened it yet. Yeah, that inside is so nice. As well as this patina. So this is one of the options to order, is to have it come patinaed from from Nixkeys. And I mean, this is an indication of the quality of the patina work that they're doing over there. They also have keycaps that they're making. I think, don't you have like a new keycap that you were working on as well? And then you have just some ridges here for sound, acoustics. Let's see. And oh, that's neat. Some every month. That's cool. Then you can see the pogo connector. As opposed to most implementations of the pogo connector that I've seen so far, this is not floating, which is interesting. And it's a little bit bigger. The screws on the bottom, you have the 4 screws holding on the weight. This is the gold. Is this the gold aluminum bottom? with the brass accents. And then there are 4 in the corners that I assume are what's holding the case together. Three and 4. Should turn this over. Lift this up. And you can see better. Ignore some of these blemishes along the case. Again, this is a prototype, so none of those types of things are going to be on your final. And then, so we've got our top case, same here, which is again what I was expecting. And I mean, it really doesn't detract from this at all, because this is, and then this is replaceable, obviously, and you can get different weights, and they will put your own images on the bottom instead of the owl. Not that the owl isn't cool, because, you know, Athena. Now, the owl representation here is very reminiscent to me of Bubo, the owl. So there's no batteries, but there would be batteries here and here, I believe. And if you have the wireless version, this is the PCB supports. Let's get that wire back in there. That's fine. And then you have the here camera. Get the screws out of the way. Hey, what's going on? How are you doing today? Happy Sunday. So yeah, the patina on the back side. This is really cool. Kind of want to figure out a way to keep it on stream while I work on the rest of this. I think I should be able to just scooch my mouse, scooch the old agar, have that right there. Otherwise, I'm going to put you back in here. Merry Keebmas! And a happy Switch year. Okay. Get Schmutz off there. Stabs. Stabs are next. need a bag that my cat hasn't chewed on yet. You'll do. Are you doing the EC or are you doing the where's the rest of it? So these are the Wuche Studio Stupid Stabs. Or did you get the mechanical agar? This is the EC one here. And as you see, the MX version. So, funny thing about the mechanical agar is that the way that keyboard is designed, it's hard to make a bad build. It's a great sounding board. Whether you're getting the PC version or the aluminum version, which I now have both because I managed to find one on the secondhand market of the PC version, so that I can have both the EC version and the mechanical version built at the same time, so I can swap between the two. But did you get aluminum or did you get PC? I guess it's my next question. Let's see. I am not splitting my space. I'm not splitting my backspace. I'm not splitting my shift. So I'll need 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's what I thought. What color? I am. Classic silver. Nice. I had these in it for a while. Wait, no, not these. What did I have in it? It was the Poro switches. I had the Poro switches in it, and those sounded really nice. Right now, I have the... What do I have in it? I have the polycarbonate with the HMX right now. And with Osume keycaps. So I believe, yes, they are the HMX Chew switches, which are one of the options for the Athena today. If I wanted to do that, I could build it with the Chew switches, and I think I'm going to make a poll regarding it. Let's not take this out. So that is certainly a good option. As a matter of fact, all the different switches that I'm going to be using on the Athena build today would work very well on an agar build. So for today, the 4 options that I'm considering, not you, Not you. So we've got the HMX Lunar Stone, which are these guys right here. Y'all can ignore that. I really need to get that fixed. We have the Akko Botany switches, which was one of the switches from my Nixkeys Secret Santa. The HMX Chew, as I mentioned, and the HMX Akko Cilantro switches, which are the only tactile option on my list today for us to try. And I'm going to be rebuilding this with different plates, so we can try different switches. You are going to get sent off to the side, as are you. As are you. Okay. So let's get to lubing. This is just some 205G0. Using stupid stabs, you don't need to use things like dielectric grease because of the silicone inserts. So because of the silicone inserts, it takes care of most of it. As a matter of fact, do not use dielectric grease on stabilizers that have silicone inserts because it can degrade the silicone, i.e. it eats it. Like what Gollum wanted to do to the Baggins. If that is your preference style, I can also recommend, of course, if you like the Falcons, that's I heard them for maybe not the first time, but for the first time in a while, on the most recent keyboard video. If y'all watch Keyboard, love the guy. And which, by the way, Keyboard is possibly one of the best keyboard content creators out there. Even if his boards tend to be a little bit clackier than what I go for, he is his content is really good, and I would recommend checking him out. Currently, if he still is, I know at one point he was based out of Korea. He was based out of the United States. Then he moved to Korea for a job, or for his job, and I don't know if he came back already. But he does some things like acoustics and why different plates sound the way they do. You know, so really some good, intelligent content. And then, but yeah, he had it for his Neo 98 stream. I think it was the 98. It was one of the new ones, the 98 or the 75, but I think it was the 98. I tend to shy away from cherry switches because of the scratch. I'm not a scratch fan. I have Nixkeys that I've taken great pains to remove scratch from. and I have been mostly successful, but I need to change out the but I put heavier springs in it, and the springs I put in it were too heavy. And so I have to put other springs, or the original springs, but I think I'm going to put other springs in it. Because I really want to use them just for funsies, because they're not bad. They're just cherry switches, which means scratch. And that's how they're designed, and that's what they're designed for, and that's what people like about them. And I respect that, even if it's not my cup of tea. Just like browns, the light tactiles, even the HMX version, like the K1, KO1s. There are a lot of switches to choose from these days, and yeah, and there's a lot of switches just by HMX to choose from these days. It's becoming more and more of a situation where going to someone like Switch Oddities becomes a good option. If you're not familiar with Switch Oddities, the website, they I think it's right. We'll find out, I guess, once we start putting them in. They will sell you an individual switch, so you can get one of a switch and then try it and see how you like it. Now, that's not really good for me. The way I test switches is I build boards with them, and that requires, generally, if I'm buying switches, I am buying 110 between 100 and 135 switches. I say that because Akko will they sell packs of 45. So if I want more than 100 switches, then I need to get 3 packs of Akko, which ends up giving me 135 switches. That's a lot of switches. I don't really need 135 switches, but there we go. Which is, again, a reason I like using Nixkeys. Nixkeys sells theirs in packs of 10. 10 is a great number, and so I'll get 110 of those switches, which is what I do for most of my HMX. I end up with 110. That gives me enough to build out my current biggest keyboard until I can afford a Hyper 7. But yeah, gives me enough to build my biggest keyboard, which currently is the Zoom 98, which at its biggest, I think, can have 109 keys. So, so if I decide to rebuild the Zoom 98, which I probably won't do because the Zoom 98 is in a good spot. I really like it. All right, so we're going with, oh wait, oh no, wait, I'm going to change this. Oh, so I was thinking about doing a 7U spacebar, but now I'm starting to think, what if we split the spacebar? Should we split the spacebar? Can we split the spacebar? Can I do a 7U? Or do I have to split? Or do... I think I have to split or... Yeah. No, that's not going to work. I can do 6.257 or... Okay, I see it now. But the question is, should I do a 7 or should I do a split? Because I really like the way... I think I like the way split sounds more than I like the way 7 sounds. Although... the split actually looks really interesting. No, we're going to do... I mean, 7 looks really interesting. We're going to do 7. I might split it later. I'll need to load more stabilizers if that's the case. But for now, we'll start with this because I'm looking at this layout with the 7U. And I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of digging how that looks. Yeah, I noticed that. That's what I'm talking about. It's a symmetrical 7U split layout, which doesn't happen on 65% normally. Normally on 65% you end up with 3 keys on one side and 1 key on the other. So, alright. So we have our stabs in, and these in. Ooh, I'm liking this idea. As much as I like split, I think I'm going to enjoy this even more. And there's nothing wrong with 6.25 as well. But, except for the fact that I like the sound of 7 or split more. And that is, of course, preference. Glarsis, another great content creator, very entertaining person. I would love to meet him someday. I'd love to meet any of the other... I love meeting content creators and people in the keyboard community, which, by the way, Colorado Keyboard Meetup in January will be on the 17th. And that is going to be a Boulder, Colorado meetup. And then in February, there should be a Denver meetup. So we are currently essentially having one every month. One in the Boulder area. I don't mind it. I mean, the symmetrical look is unique. But since I tend to not use... I tend not to use the keys over here except for function. Well, by over here I mean over here because of the way that it's currently backwards. Like, I don't use my right alt hardly at all, or control. Like on the agar right now, I have control alt start. This is the start menu, and then function up here. Because I don't use start all that much. Occasionally I do. And so having it as a button I like, but having it on the right side means I don't use it as much. What's up, Niku? I am doing all right. For those of you who do not know, Epo Maker is sending me to CES in January. The first full week of January, I will be going to CES, where I will be live streaming from the event, and generally having an awesome time. Or at least we hope so. I've never been to Vegas. It's like a 10-hour drive from where we are right now in Denver. So we are going to drive it, and that way we don't have to worry about the airplanes being airplaney with everything that's going on. All right, so that is that. Let's put this down. Okay. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this real quick. Apparently I can't. Here we go. Okay, so I have started a poll, and you can vote on which switches we're going to use. And because I have never done anything with points before, if you want to, I am not bored to tears, Punk Monkey, and welcome. If I don't know that you've ever been on my stream before. That's awesome. No, this is my regular thing that I love to do, which is to build custom mechanical keyboards. And today we are building the Athena, which you can see the weight of the Athena here while we're waiting for that. I set a 3-minute timer on that poll, so I did invite you from Discord, because I love seeing you guys. Frankly, I don't talk to y'all enough. So, yeah, welcome. And I hope y'all are all doing well over there. I don't know how. I know things are getting a little weird and rough sometimes down there with everything that's going on, but I heard some people aren't even leaving their houses down there anymore. So this is the actual board itself. This is the blue. The blue is no longer available currently. As of earlier today, there were 2 green of this board left, as well as 2 black. So if you're interested in the board, you can go over to Nixkeys, NYXKEYS, and check it out. Yeah, I mean, they're not just the fact that I have often gotten ill around the holidays, but there's definitely something that's been going around. Not just here. I know that I was watching Mango earlier, and she's sick. So there's that. Who is another keyboard streamer? Let's see. Did we get a result? We had 2 votes for Lunar Stone. Score on the Lunar Stone. So we'll be going with that. We'll set you off to the side. You stay there. We'll bring this up. And wasn't there a foam kit? I thought there was a foam kit. Maybe there wasn't. Hey Nix, if you're around still, well, Shiva, I guess, probably who it is. Was there a foam kit with this? Or did I? It is one of my favorite switches to put in a keyboard, honestly. And this doesn't want to come out. There we go. Okay. There. So this should be the polypropylene plate, or the PP plate, for those of us who are like 4 in like PP humor. These are the Lunar Stone switches. So I may need this. All right, let's go ahead and bring some switches. First thing I do is I always drop my switches into the 4 corners. This helps make it so that everything is where it needs to be. Especially on a plastic plate. This one does not want to go in right. Turns are probably just off. Check the switch, make sure that it's all level. Once we get our four corners in, we should be able to pretty much place everything else. And the last corner is going to be this one, which I assume I'm going to have to do it this way. Okay. Ooh, which way? Oh, it tells me on the back. It tells me on the back. Which one are you? So if you look at the back of the, it'll tell you which ones are for. So this one is our 7U, which is this guy right here. So we will plop that in right there. I have just started a brand new Dark Urge playthrough for Baldur's Gate, and that is my current thing. I've been playing Rust, but we just picked up Peak, but we haven't played it yet. I just noticed that the caps lock is also sideways. So again, this is put in here so that they will fit more neatly instead of having one top and one inverted. I also noticed that there is no RGB on this PCB. Not even for caps lock. I really like the hot swap sockets on this board though. Very nice. Gaskets out of the way. Swap a bunch of those. That should be plenty for us to get started. So yeah, playing a new playthrough of Baldur's Gate. Playing Peak soon. We'll be playing some of that. But there, have you played Stray? I hear it's not. It doesn't take that long, but I played a little bit of it, but I hadn't finished it. There we go. Of course, the inner, because there's ISO support, they also go sideways. Polypropylene being the softest plastic, standard plate is very bendy. Yeah. Nope, not doing that. Not doing that. Let's do it that way. That's fine. Not, well, yes, it's electrocapacitive, not topre. I hear they're actually, I heard, and I have no verification on this, that they're actually working on a topre conversion kit for the agar, which will, I think, use the EC PCB, but provide the proper plate for you to do a topre build. But yes, this is an EC build. I also have topre is more of the original rubber dome type. At least that's kind of how I distinguish the two, as opposed to the HMX style. No, just come out. As opposed to the HMX style electrocapacitive switches, which are like that in the housing and just go into a standard HMX plate. The topre have the integrated like you put it directly into the you put the stems directly into the plate, and they kind of sit in there, and then everything sits underneath it. It's a thing, like the new version of it for OmniType, their new topre, which are HMX compatible as well, which is what will, I think, is the intent, is to use the new OmniType topre rubber domes with their springs and everything. Although Nixkeys is doing the same thing, and I think they're doing it a little bit cheaper, and I'm kind of interested in that. So I have a Salvation that the PCB is got some problems, and so kind of interested in making it into something interesting, like a topre, or even like doing an Alps Salvation, which I think would be kind of neat. But, oh, put that on there all the way. But I love the agar. I think that the combination of Cat Mizu, which is the keycaps that are on here, with the green look great. Although, I mean, I bought it with PBT Fans Emma, and it looks like they pretty much made for each other. But I decided I wanted to change it up a little and try something a little bit different, where it was more of a complementary color than like a direct match, as opposed to what we're going to do today, which I'm hoping that the Kikobo red, white, and blue is a very close match for the color of the Poseidon case for this board. Okay. And how are you doing today? Very intense. Here's our plate PCB structure. We'll set that right there. Gotta put gaskets on it. So the gaskets, I think I'm gonna start. We'll start with the lightest, since we're doing polypropylene. Do these. I think I just gotta cut it. That's good. Did everybody, did Santa give you everything you wanted for Christmas? Not yet. You're next. So, the gaskets are going to fit onto here, like so. And then there are one for each side. And this is going to frame along the bottom. And it should rest in here. And then that'll allow it to connect to the bottom case. Make sure that they're all into, they have to get into the groove. You know, like a Madonna song. If you haven't seen the bottom yet, there you go. It's very, very, very beautiful. Love that patina. Thinks it works very well with the gold. This is bottom. This piece is gold aluminum, and this piece is patinaed brass. Just so you know. So far, looking good. As I said before, the keycaps we're going to be starting with today. Oh, don't worry about that. Is Kikobo red, white, blue. Which I'm not sure how much it's going to work, but I think it's going to work on here. All right. So these are the keycaps, and oh yeah, I think it definitely works. It's not quite the same. It's in the same shade family, but it's not exactly the same, which is good. I do not. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Now, I also have Asume Tsukimi that I could also put on here. Now, that will be definitely a darker shade. That is like a really dark navy blue. To you, to you. But I have that as an example of, and we'll probably use it for the second build, which will be the polycarbonate build. So, if I am correct, then is. It is. Look at that. In which case, we'll do it backwards than what I normally do. Do it like this. I'm not exactly sure how it's normally supposed to be done, but that's what I'm going with. Then we have ourselves a caps lock, and then I just need you. All right. Here, set you down over here. Okay, this is our first build. This is the Athena65 with HMX Lunar Stone switches and KKB red, white, blue. And we will do a quick sound test. Let me pause the music. Come back to you in a second. I think it looks great. I think it came out really nice. I think this colorway works with it. I'm not sure about the red. I can always go with blue for the whole thing. Tell me what you think, but let's do a sound test. Spacebar seems like it might be a little fuzzy. Could be the gasket underneath the spacebar. You know, I know that's what Alex is always talking about, not having that kind of right here, but overall, especially for a completely foamless build, and I don't do those very often, as everybody who watches my stream knows. Yeah, just get you the side profile. These are brass accents, so this is aluminum here. This is actual brass. This is actual brass. And then you have the top. You have your back. It's slightly recessed. And we can test some different cables in there and see how they fit. You know what? I don't know if it's going to have as much of an effect as I think, but let's get some feet on this thing, shall we? Come on. We got two. They're all different colors, so it doesn't really matter. Just get out. Get out. It's kind of the opposite of you're not wanted here anymore. I want you too much for you to stay inside your little plastic wrapper. All right. Well, no, I'm not going to tweeze. These are good feet. I like these feet. Like a lot of the feet that I end up getting on keyboards where I'm putting on the feet, they feel kind of weak, floppy. I mean, these are strong rubber feet. What's up, End of Greatness? How are you? Welcome. Welcome to the Athena. Well, the other Athena. This is actually the second Athena keyboard to grace my home. The first being the Athena 1800 by KBD fans. That is a bigger keyboard with a giant owl face on the back, as opposed to this little guy who kind of reminds me of Bubo. Any Clash of the Titans fans out there? What? All right. Let's do another quick one. Then I might take out that gasket and then try it again. Oh, no. There you go. I was wrong. It was the feet. I didn't have feet on it. I messed it up. So let's try this again. This is the Athena65 by Nixkeys with HMX Lunar Stone switches and KKB red, white, blue on it. Wow, it's interesting. After I added the feet, that really kind of changed the entire, definitely the top row. You should absolutely get one and then bring it here so that I can build it. Or send it to me, I'll build it and send it to you. Because, you know, the Hyper 7. We love the Hyper 7. For anybody who is not familiar with the Hyper 7. And here, we'll go ahead and connect up our keyboard and use it. For those of you who may or may not be familiar with the Hyper 7. Oh, we need to start our synthwave again. Let me know if the music comes through too loud, because I want to crank it up a little bit. Is that too loud? That might be too loud. Definitely think that's too loud, actually. Unless I do it this way. Okay, that should be better. Okay. Yeah, Hyper 7. This guy. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the Hyper 7, it is a command station. So yeah, with the worst switches. I mean, come on, Gatoron G Pro. Actually, I say that, and I have some right here. Another thing from my Secret Santa, my Secret Keyboard Santa, was some Gatoron G Pro Reds, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. Of course, they gave me Snow Crash and the botany, both of which I've been wanting to try. So overall, that was really nice. Exactly, exactly. You need to control an evil layer? Have I got the keyboard for you? Be sure to get it with the keycaps. Otherwise, you will never find this kitting anywhere. Yeah. Yeah, this is a great board. I love it. It's so Brobdingnagian. There you go. This is a Brobdingnagian keyboard. Look at that stainless steel. Just all bent. Not putting foams in that. I would put foams in here, but it doesn't look like it came with any. I should go look again. Maybe I'm wrong. Not that it really needs it. I mean, there is some hollowness. I'm a little concerned about that, but not too concerned about that. Yeah, there was nothing. Okay. Just checking. Great case. And the flex. Alright. Let's try a couple things. Before I change out, okay. Again, if you see any imperfections in the ano, this is a prototype unit and is not expected to be in any versions that you may or may not purchase. There are only 4 remaining, 2 green and 2 black last time I looked. So if you are interested in this board, you might want to move on it soon. They had 1 blue and 4 green before. Obviously that has changed. Side. No, flex for me is good. Different people have different opinions on how they like their boards as far as flexiness goes. I'm going to go the opposite direction though for the gaskets right now, and I'm going to go to the highest durometer. And we're going to try those and see, which these are basically like rubber gaskets. I am going to keep the spacebar for now. I like a bouncy board. The only time you don't want a super bouncy board is if you are doing Hall effect. Hall effect boards do not like bounce because it is trying to measure the magnetic fields, and if the board bounces, it jacks up it changes the magnetic field during the course of the key press, which can mess up its measurements. So unless you're dealing with Hall effect, otherwise bounce is a matter of preference. I like bounce personally. No, actually, funnily enough, your boards that are cheaper will have absolutely 0 flex. Well, when I'm talking about flex, I am talking about the flexiness of the PCB inside the case. I am not talking about the flexibility of the case. It is not the same as EC, but it is the same as induction. Basic electrocapacitive, uses the springs to complete the circuit, not dissimilar to a standard mechanical switch. It just works differently. So yeah, when you're talking about that kind of flexing, you're talking about like torquing the board. I'm talking about when you're pushing on the board and you're getting the board gives a little, so that when you're typing on it, you're getting a softer feel. And so if you, like myself, have a tendency to hit keys, have a little bit of give means that you're not doing repetitive strikes that can, over time, emphasize things like repetitive stress disorder. So the firmer gaskets, I think, gotten rid of some of the metallic resonance, but the overall board, you can definitely tell that it has some hollowness to it, which of course it does because there's no foams inside. But I think that using the higher durometer, and we'll try the medium when we do the PC plate in a second. Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah. Hold on, let's go ahead and get rid of that. Well, let's take a look. So this is the board. Actually, while we're here, let's take a look at what options are currently available. And I'll refresh that just to see. Yeah, still 2 green, 2 black left. So this is the green, which I think is super fine if you go with the copper bottom. And so green, copper bottom, with the copper accents, copper patina weight. We haven't decided yet, but let's say polycarbonate, which is my standard. Hot swap, copper knob, because if you're going at foam kit, because I like foam kits, they're all out of keycaps at the moment. We'll stick with the standard engraving. And so this board, not this board as it's built right now, which we'll look at in a second, but if I were buying the green board, would run you about $438. It's coming from Canada, so there's that. I'm doing all right. How are you doing? Hey, look, everybody's showing up. Oh, you want to see? Oh. You want to see the back weight? Hold on. I got to get rid of this window. I'm gonna bam ya. Bam! Look at that. This is the brass patina weight. Shiva at Nixkeys says that this is probably one of his favorites. And I think it came out really nice. Keep in mind, this is a prototype unit, so there are some slight imperfections in the ano. So if you see them, ignore them, like this one right here. because they won't be in any of the production units. But you can also get the brass patina, and you can get custom engravings on it, so that you can have your own unique logo with the patina in brass or copper. So as built today, let me buy the okay. So it's going to be the same price for the gold and the black alloy. So I just want to get you the proper price. So it's got the brass accents, brass patina bottom, the bundle of plates, no knob, wired, no foam kit, no keycaps. Okay. So this board, as it's built today, is a $410 board. And that's just for the board. That does not include the keycaps or switches, which are separate. And yeah. So, yeah. And I think that overall, the board itself came out really nice. I think this is a good starting point for it. So I have a few selection of switches to try today, and different. We have all 3 plates, and then I have some different switches. We're gonna use this for now because I wanna. Now these are the Akko Botany switches. These are some new switches that I got, like I said, from a Secret Santa. Through Nixkeys. They organized a Secret Santa on their Discord, and my Secret Santa sent me 3 sets of switches, and I sent to my Secret Santa a set of switches, a set of keycaps, and 2 sets of keycaps, and a Hall Effect keyboard. Yeah, that's kind of weak. Weak sauce. Alright, the botanies. See, the botanies are going to be similar to the Rosewoods, and so I'm wondering how much mileage I'm going to get out of them. But I did want to try them. Well, alright, first things first. Now, Akko switches that are paired up with HMX switches, on the other hand, like these, which are the Akko HMX Cilantro, which are a tactile switch. See, I'm wondering if that is going to make the slight hollowness of the board less apparent because of the tactile switch. And then I'm going to go a little bit hold the let me just do this. So you don't follow me, so I can just grab whatever I need. These are the HMX Chew. And if y'all are interested in any of these, the statistics from any of these switches, I have all that. I have it all prepped. I actually prepped things today. This also sounds better than the Lunar Stones. What if we see, how do they fare in the top row? Which is the most resonant? So we know Lunar Stones are out. Question is, what is in? So these are the original, these are the Lunar Stones. Interesting. I don't know that I dislike the sound. It just is weird. And this is partially because I am normally a foamed up guy. But but there's no foam kit for this that was included. They were nice enough to send it to me, and so whatever. I mean, that's nice enough for them to do that in the first place. So, Lunar Stones. Yeah. Nope, I think as of right now, and this might change when we switch plates. But I'm leaning to, for the polypropylene at least, currently I'm leaning towards the Chew. We're going to try one last set of switches in the top. And these are the HMX Retro T switches. And here's the Lunar Stones. Here's the Retro T. Yeah, they're basically the same. So we're going to go with the Chew. But we're going to go with the Chew on the polycarbonate and see how they are. So we'll put you back away. You might come back later when we get to the alu for no particular reason. Alright. So let's do a second build. Oh, but we've got to take this apart. So, here's that patina again. So nice. So it's 4 screws in the bottom to get into the case. 4 screws in the bottom to switch out the weight, which is this guy right here. And then once you are in, like we are now, it is pogo connected with a solid pogo connector instead of your normal floating pogo connector, which connects to this guy right here. We're going to use the medium gaskets when we rebuild. This board supports like everything in your grandmother. If you like the building with different things, step caps, split right or split left shift, 6.25, 7, and split spacebar, split backspace, and ISO support. So pretty much everything that you could ask for in a PCB. There are 3 plate options. Happy New Year! If we are doing anything this year, like karaoke or something, did you want me to reach back out? I can reach out to you on your Discord. I don't know if y'all already have plans. They may already be gone. Okay, yeah. There you are. Yeah, so I don't know if there is a plan or what the plan is at this point, but if there is a plan for karaoke fun, then I will, actually either way I'll drop a message on your Discord. Yeah, it got cold last night. It snowed, and then by midday, most of the snow had gone away. So, and then right now it is back down to 29 degrees. Hey, Klex, what's going on? We just built it with the polypropylene plate. I'm going to be building it with polycarbonate next, and then lastly, we're going to be going for an aluminum plate build. I'm thinking about, for the polycarbonate build, since I am changing out most everything, I was thinking about doing it with Osume Tsukimi keycaps, seeing how some Osume dye sub goes on here, or we could do Cat Great Wave, since it is a Poseidon build. Ooh, this intrigues me. It might be too blue, though. Let's say we try it. I think I'm going to do that. I never use Great Wave, and it's Poseidon. Poseidon is the blue colorway, by the way, for this the keyboard. So for those of you who have not seen it yet, that is this colorway. But ignore any blemishes on the ano. This is a prototype unit. Production units do not have it. They were nice enough to send me this board, but if I decide to keep it, then I'll be paying for it. So this is, well, nice of them to send it to me. It's not really sponsored, so or if I keep it, I'll be paying for it. Alright, so this is the somewhat firmer polycarbonate. Kind of going, this is going to be our middle of the road build. I say that because we're going polycarbonate, which is their medium weight plate, as well as, come on, we're going to go with the medium, the 60 durometer gaskets, and the so polycarbonate 60 durometer gaskets on here. All right. And for switches for this build, we will be using the HMX Chew. And I do have a plate fork. Look at that. Yeah, I don't use plate forks too often. Okay. Now I could cheat and put in case foam, but I probably have to cut down the case foam because of the pogo connector. So I probably won't, but I could. I don't think it's that big a deal though. Is everybody caught up on Stranger Things? If you're watching Stranger Things? Or if not, what are you watching? What's going on? What did Santa bring you? Oh, that's cool. What game are you playing? You said you're really into cat games, but I don't think you mentioned which one specifically. Oh, Hidden Cats in Christmas. I think I saw somebody do a playthrough of maybe that. Is that the one where they're just all like where it's like a picture and there's like 15 cats hidden throughout the picture? You have to find all 15 cats before you can go on to the next level. Nice day for fishing, ain't it? Huh? Is that the Balin game? For those of you who are not in the know, that is a reference to Viva La Dirt. Here's a character on their epic NPC man called Balin. Got introduced years ago. And he only has one line that he can say because he's a character in an MMO. And his one line is, "Morning! Nice day for fishing, ain't it? Haha!" And so they made an entire movie, well, maybe not movie, an entire short of Balin's quest. And in it, he still only has one line. "Morning, nice day for fishing, ain't it?" But he says it with different inflections as he goes through. Basically, he ends up with a protection quest. If you haven't already, you should check it out. Viva la Dirt. All right. PC plate, shoe switches, medium gaskets. Grab this one. Nope. Or I'll put it on upside down. How about that? Much less give with the medium, with the PC plate. But still just, you know, just a little bit of bounce. Now, they do offer a flex cut PCB, which would have a lot more bounce to it, if that were something that you were interested in. I don't know that it actually even is an upcharge for it. I think it's just a choice. And if you are going to be in the Colorado area in January, mid-January, and you would like to see this keyboard in person, it will be at that meetup that I mentioned earlier. For those of you who missed, there is on the 17th a meetup in Boulder, Colorado. So let's see. You. Not efficient. Now stay with me. I don't know how well this is going to work, but we're going to do it anyway. So this is Cat Great Wave. That's K-A-T. It's the name of the profile. Has nothing to actually do with cats at all. In case you were wondering. I'm a bars guy. Like being a Dapper Dan man. I'm a bars guy. Okay, what do we want? I do not want a giant demon head. What I do want is a wave with a fish. Yeah. Yep. That's the spacebar I'm looking for. Alright, now comes the fun part. Oh, wait, I know what I'm gonna do. You. So, go back and find my. Things. Thanks, Valve Supply. You're at least good for one thing. Not delivering orders! To be clear. Actually, we'll do this. Which are not in here either. Okay. That way I can get my sizing right. It'll be easier for me to figure out which size is which by being able to continue on with something that I know is the right size when I'm trying to figure out the keys that go here. Except for this one, which I know goes here. Okay. cartridge. No, that's right. That's right. Alright, so I need you, I think. Nope. I go the other way. Between cat sizing, not to be confused with capsizing. Uh-oh. Ignore that. That's not even the right thing. It is also wrong. Okay. But I don't know that you were like that. That might actually be right. So you are going to be that. And I just need a bottom row. Do I not have that? No. That's absolutely not right. Okay. Well, you'll do. You'll do, pig. You'll do. It's not a very nice thing to say, even to a pig. Oh, that was neither a scam call nor a wrong number. But what is your favorite way to deal with scam calls or wrong numbers? No, it's going to be you. Because symmetry. My favorite way to deal with them is to mess with them as much as possible. The more time they spend with me, the less time they spend calling somebody else. If I can make their numbers go down, I am happier. Because the next person who they talk to may not know as much as I do. I think it's a horrible world we live in where this is a thing that I have to think about. So I will pick it up and I will just chat their ear off. Okay. You for now. I don't know. What do y'all think of the color way on here? You think this blue works with the case blue? Sub question. Let's see how it sounds. So this is the Athena65 with a polycarbonate plate, HMX Nixkeys Chew switches, and cat Great Wave keycaps. So cat profile. See, I think that the problem is actually with the cat profile itself. See, if you look at it, you can see, well, you can see that this isn't all the way. There we go. You can see that the cat profile is very different than the standard cherry profile. Even though the heights are pretty similar, it's the shape of the key really is different. And I think that is playing into that resonance. So that means I'm going to be pulling these off and then maybe trying our this was an experiment. It was not necessarily a successful experiment, but it was one that needed to be done. I think for my next experiment, and I think I'm not even going to change out the plate for this one, and that is, we're going to go to the Asume. So I think that will show whether or not the resonance is worse with this build. Now, it could be the medium durometer gaskets that are coming into play. And if I switch it out to the Asume and it's doing the same, then I will likely put the hard ones back in and leave them in, which I was actually kind of planning on doing for the aluminum plate build. Oh, hey, music. I'm just going to be putting away keycaps for days after this. However, one important thing to note. I'm switching to the Asume Tsukimi keycap set, which is my plan. I have to flip my caps lock, because the R1, which I think is the only one of the Tsukimi keycaps, did not come with stepped caps. Don't know. It was a simpler time, I guess. Okay. So I think this, while it will be a darker shade of navy, will go better, definitely, than the Great Wave did. I think it's just going to be a good thing, and I think that it's going to work well with the brass accents. Interesting. Yeah, it's more... We love Asume because everything has a place. Although in this first gen, they weren't labeled. In the later generations, in most of the sets, well, every other set that I have, up to and including their latest sets, because I have the horoscope, they're actually even labeled. Like every spot for every key is labeled, which is great when you're putting things back away. If you ever put things back away. Because, I mean, you know, there's a lot of people who get their keyboard, they build it, even if they're in the hobby, and then they're done. Or, substatement, they find their in-game keyboard, if one believes such a thing. And then they're out. They've won. They've succeeded in doing what they were going to do. And they're done playing around with this. Putting in the keys, and the whole thing kind of sounds weird. I don't know about that. And got arrow keys. I'm doing them in this order. Hey, it's my favorite person, Freya. Hey. Oh, okay. That's why. Because the side-facing keys are not grabbing on, the shoes are not grabbing onto the plate. So that was the noise I was hearing. I see. I think it's because I've used these shoes a few times in the past. We'll just call it a few times. All right. What do y'all think about this color combination? Okay. So this is the same configuration, which is the Athena65 polycarbonate plate, HMX Chew switches, but with Osume Tsukimi keycaps. Do I have... I do. Hold on. Let's try this. On natural. So I use automotive dampener to take out some of that high-pitched sound that the die-sub PVT keycap spacebars will have. It's a thing. But in this case, it needs that. It wants that. It's got to have it. There's that flex again. All right. I do think that this is not nearly the same as the, and I think I like this keycap color combination the best. Because I think that this with the accent goes really well. And the shade, this shade of blue, is a much better, not much better, but better match than this, and or obviously much better than that. So I think for our final build of the day, we are going to go with the aluminum. And I think instead of the choose, we're going to go with the highest diameter gaskets. Instead of the chew switches, I think we'll go with the cilantro on the Kosume. And I think that will be the build for this. The build to beat. Restart the music. So I'm going to try to stream next week. I do have some EpoMaker, some new EpoMaker boards, the RT82 as well as the Split 70. Oh, have a great night. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. And yeah, have a great day at work tomorrow. Back to the grind. The old grind, the new grind, the medium grind. Light roast? I don't know. Although I guess I prefer medium roast over light roast. Are y'all enjoying the build so far? Are y'all enjoying the keyboard so far? What do y'all think? I've been waiting for quite a while for this board to get here. With everything that's been going on, it's been Very much a struggle for Nixkeys to get this out to me, and I really appreciate all the struggles that they went through to do so. Yeah, I think that it is everything that I expected out of this board, even without a foam kit. And I might ask, if I decide to keep it, I might order a foam kit, because I was thinking about ordering a custom weight to go with it. With the Virtual Adept symbol on the bottom. For those of you who are familiar with Mage the Ascension, I think Punk Monkey probably knows something about it. If not, she should ask her dad. He has some great stories to tell about my Virtual Adept. Anyway, so I like that symbol, and I'm thinking about getting that on the bottom of this keyboard, if I decide to keep it. I'll leave it. Alright. Oh, yes. You can see the bottom one last time. Here we go. And again, any blemishes that you see on the ano or anything like that, that is from the fact that this is a prototype unit and there were some flaws, which is why they're not production units. But yeah. But this patina, though, it's so nice. Okay. It is so great looking. And really, to get the patina, it is not that much more expensive. Oh, I totally missed a message over on my YouTube stream. I'm terribly sorry about that if you're still around. So, for the patina versus the standard weight, it's an additional $30. I think it's worth it. I mean, for $30, I mean, on a board like this, yeah, you have a great night. Looking forward to it. And yeah, I would normally ask you what's going on with you, what was going on with your camera. Like, it wasn't set up, but you got to go to work, which I totally get. So yeah, have a good one. And yeah, again, thanks for stopping by. All right, so this is the PC plate. We'll just bury that. We're going to need these there. Last but not least, let's grab this. The aluminum plate is black, so that's good if you are a person who does not like the white shining through. I know that that was a thing for Alex Otis, is that he prefers that it be black because of that. And yeah, which I think he overall liked this board when he looked at it, because he actually got the very first review version of this board because he was in the same area as them, because they were a Canadian company, and so holy crap. Thank you so much, Integrateness, for all of the gifted subs. That is awesome. But you know what this means. That means we get to have a giveaway. Does anybody want a keyboard? Or a numpad? Or some keycaps? Or some switches? So I'll totally start up a giveaway in just one little bit. Well, actually, we can close out the stream with a giveaway. But recently, when I've mentioned it, like, you know, because most of my watchers lurk, by the way, this is much easier because aluminum, stiff plate, so you don't really have the issue that you have with the plastic, the polycarbonate and the polypropylene, where it bends. Uh-oh. Well, I hope and pray that you you are able to, well, I'm sure you'll be able to get that done before tomorrow. I mean, it's like, what, where you are, about 7? Don't worry, they'll be begging for your spreadsheets. Got them all printed out on your bed sheets. You know, because you want to roll with the homies. But now, you're just white and nerdy. That's a song, by the way, by Weird Al, in case everybody misses it. I don't know that it's going to be as bad as you think. So, normally, Denver tends to get that weather a day or so ahead of the Michigan people, and this is only because we have some people who work out of Michigan. And yeah, it was supposed to be a snowstorm here, and then it wasn't. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow morning, there's gonna be like 8 feet of snow outside, everything will be good. Nope. All in all, disappointed, would not recommend. Although, let me know if it's crazy bad, because then I could be jelly. What is this? Yay! There's a hype train. I don't know what that means. We get a choo-choo. And they're spilling the tea, apparently. Alright. Here we go. There we got our black gaskets back on. Yeah, I mean, that's true. I was just, you know. I come from the South, and so I did not grow up with snow. And so I love the snow. I don't do any snow-related activities. I just like it. And so whenever we get a hard snow, or we're supposed to, I get excited. And when it doesn't happen, oh, thanks for the sub, man. When it doesn't happen, I get disappointed, sad. And people are like, but you know, snow sucks. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. Snow's awesome. You shut your mouth. Okay. Screws right here. And then they're like, we're from Michigan. I'm like, I know, isn't that awesome? Right? Well, you're not just northern, because if you're anywhere near Lake Michigan, that means that you're also getting the humidity, which they don't have here. So, like, 50 degrees here is like so mild compared to how it is back in New Orleans, which is where I'm from. Nope, not that one. Yeah, the humidity makes it feel so much colder. Like 50s here are downright pleasant, whereas 50s in New Orleans, and I'm in a freaking parka. Right? Exactly. I see people in the 50s here, and they're wearing shorts. Of course, I also see people in the 50s here, and they're wearing a parka. But we'll call those people what they are. They're wimps. I pretty much just wear pants whenever I go outside anyway. Five degrees or 1,000 degrees. Pants. Hey, look, like, hey, the adept, we're going to the swimming pool. Pants. Hey, the adept, you want to join us in the hot tub? Pants. That's how I roll. Which is funny because I got to get a swimsuit because we're going on a cruise. And apparently, wearing pants into the swimming pool was not allowed. Told them not to yuck my yum, and they just stared at me. Alright. So this is the Athena65 with HMX cilantro switches and aluminum plate, Asume Tsukimi keycaps. Pause the music. And here we go. All right. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let's put some bass in it. What if we just put in plate foam? I mean, case foam. That's not too much, right? Just a little case foam. A little foamy foam. A little foamy foam never hurt nobody. Where's that from? I don't think it needs much. That foam. Aha! Here we go. Just add a little bit. I like that. Let's just do that. I have to cut that back a little bit more. Let's just go. Just add a little. Not a lot. Just take a little bit of the bite out of it. Oh, hey, look at that. See, that is an issue. Again, I take out that a lot. One of the problems with the fact that I use the same switches and tons of boards is that they give up their grippy after a little while. Now, obviously, this is not their standard foam, which would be cut to the shape of the case. This is just a little bit of foam to see if it gives a little, just a little extra. Don't worry, you're going to be right back. Okay. See, that's not too much. I could also try putting in a force brake, but I think this thing comes with a built-in force brake. Oh, hey. Right. Restart the music. Alright, let's see. Does it make it any better? Actually did make it better. There is still some resonance here. I was always of the age where if you didn't want to see moves, don't go visit me at the pool. You know, because I was overweight. Technically, I still am. Trying something, namely going back to the original switches. Try just a few of the keys first. Namely the keys that spell out the word hey. So these are the Lunar Stones. Oh, right, because it's the energy. I was thinking about the EpoMaker RT85. It has the prestigious honor of being possibly the best screen that I've seen on a keyboard to date. This is including any screen by Melatrix or QWERTY Keys, anybody. The screen on the RT85 blows them all out of the water with its color vibrancy and crispness. Weird, huh? So there's people who might be interested. I will go ahead and set up a ticket thing. I've done it once. I'm sure I can figure out how to do it again. Ooh, I know what I was going to try. No. Well, let's not try that. Well, yeah, let's try that. Go back to the retro tees, try them out real quick. I don't know that I want to do a whole nother keyboard build today, as we've already done 3 of them, but so what are y'all thinking? Thinking y'all want me to do a giveaway? I don't think that's an improvement. Should I have just gone with the choose in the first place? Let's find out. Let's see. Why would I close this? Yeah, I'll close this. Okay. I threw it on the ground. Oh, Epo Maker RT85 is what I said. The Epo Maker RT85, which has the dubious distinction of being the keyboard with quite possibly the nicest screen of any keyboard that I've ever seen a screen on, including keyboards way above its price range, which are, you know, like Melitrix boards and QWERTY keys. Just for some reason, the clarity and the color vibrancy on the Epo Maker RT85 is just next level. If not on all of them, then at least for the one that I'm giving away, because it's the one I did the review. Alright, so let's try the choose out on here, see if we like it, and then I'll go ahead and set that up. So this is the choose. Yeah, I think that's better. Let's see. Didn't I already have one? There we go. By the way, winner is responsible for shipping. If that changes your mind, don't enter. By the way, winner is responsible for shipping. If that changes your mind, don't enter. I think I'm doing this right. Okay. You should be able to enter it. I think it is exclamation point ticket. Yep. So anybody who wants it, go ahead and do it. And we'll wrap this up with that. If anybody is interested in winning an RT85. Oh, I mean, we could do switch giveaways. I'm not sure what I would give away. I was waffling as to what to give away. Usually, I've been giving away keyboards, keyboards that are easy for me to give away because they are sent to me for free. Whereas switches, on the other hand, I usually have to pay for. Wouldn't be averse to giving away some switches. I just don't know what to give away. Or how about this? The RT85 comes with switches. As a matter of fact, it comes with Epomaker Creamy Jades on it, which if you like that sound, they are some actually pretty good switches. They're budget, but really good. I quite like them. So much so that I bought some more. Not that I will fight anyone to take part in a giveaway. Because I also love that Epomaker RT85. I don't know why everybody loves Zaku's. I've never tried a Zaku because they're supposedly very clacky, but I certainly like Bolsa Supply, who are the ones who were, if not the designers of the Zaku's, were the distributors of the Zaku's and are not around anymore. You know, they had a linear switch called the Laguna Beach that I really like. And again, that's a switch that I got and then bought extras because they were so good. But I mean, you have so all right. So here's the thing, right? You have these switches. We'll call them Zaku's. We can call them Zelios. We can call them, you know, KTT, Kang, White, you know, whatever. You have all of these switches that were, when they were released, they were phenomenal switches, right? They had a sound profile that was like S tier for the time. And I say that because I'm a firm believer that when it comes to switches, in most cases, newer is better. Switch makers are refining their molds. They're improving their mold processes. They are, they're just getting better and better and better. And so the new switches, and it's the reason why things like the HMX as a company has gained such popularity, is because they are innovating. Now, granted, they're innovating in 1,000 different switches, but you know, they're still innovating, and they're doing things that hadn't been done in the hobby before. In doing so, they're just better. I mean, that's all there is to it. In the case of a lot of HMX. Now you'll always have the people who are going to be all about the scratch, and while HMX has put out some intentionally scratchy switches to kind of go into that market, you know, people will always live for the cherry blacks. And I'm sure that if that's your jam, getting cherry switches are probably still going to be your number one thing. But then you have the question, is that because the cherry MX blacks are better? Or is it because the people who are buying the cherry MX blacks aren't trying, or even if they are trying, are not giving a fair shake to the new HMX switches? Or, you know, Key Geek, B-Sun for more foamy switches, you know, things like that. So it's always going to be, you're always going to have the classics, and for the people who love the classics, they are always going to love the classics. And you know, cherry MX blacks are actually unique in that the more classic you get, the better they are. Like if you find reclaimed cherry MX blacks out of like old, crazy old boards, like people are paying $1, $2 a switch for them. And that's just crazy. It's just crazy. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, you do you. I mean, I have 60 keyboards. That's crazy. Like if you'd have told me, like, you know, a decade ago, that, hey, the Adept, in 2025, you're going to own 60 keyboards. I've been like, why? I don't need 60 keyboards. I only use one at a time. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have necessarily disbelieved it, because, you know, I've done crazier things in my life. Yeah. But yeah, I people are gonna like what they're gonna like, and they're gonna like some things possibly more for what they believe that they are than what they actually are. And more power to them. If that is the sound that they enjoy, yeah, and I mean, that is a absolutely valid opinion. I mean, there is a reason why the people who enjoy that sound go for MX Blacks over everything, and why you see so many of the high-end content creators using them in their builds almost exclusively. It's because it has that certain sound. But, you know, it's harder for me to talk as intelligently about cherry MX Blacks, only because they're not my jam. I respect the sound that it produces. You know, I go to meetups, and there's lots of people who have boards that are that have MX Blacks in them, and I try them out, and I'm like, yeah, that's. mean, my tastes have subtly shifted over the years. I would have been far less inclined to try or really enjoyed the HMX 2 switches in the past. But, you know, my tastes have moved. I mean, not completely. Like, the... you know, things like like I said earlier, those creamy jades and what was another? Oh, the B-Sun Snow Diane switches, which I just picked up some more of. Which I say more of. My girlfriend got the Snow Dianes for her Zoom 75 Tiga, and they were just so good that when I found out that they were on clearance, I had to buy a set for myself. But a good example of something that I enjoy that is a thing that isn't as much of a thing anymore. Oil Kings. Gateron Oil Kings, right? Gateron Oil Kings have a really good sound. But they have a really good sound that would have been a fantastic sound like just like 2-3 years ago. They would have been super S tier. But now, like, I'm like, these are good and I enjoy them. But I would rather have my HMX switches in this board. And so they get set on the side. You want to see them? They're right here. So they're not in a board because I have better switches. Even HMX has beaten HMX in some cases. You know, I put up for sale a bunch of my Emos and Evas and just a whole bunch of my other HMX switches because the Chews, the Mirrors, Cilantros, Ice Lotus, Lunar Stone, they're all just the superior switch over the Evas and the Emos that I got a few years ago. Purple Dawns, there's another good one. That was a great switch when it came out, but they've gotten better. Anyway, I think butter switches are so good. Yes. Butter and cheese. HMX butter and cheese. I haven't tried the new cheese, and I haven't tried blue cheese. I want to try them both, but I have not yet. I got butter switches on. They came with a board that I bought from Clackbait, and they have not left being on a board since. Whether it's on the board, it's not on the board that they came in, but they don't often move. I haven't tried the Catmints. I have the Bull SW Cocoa Blacks that are pretty good, but again, I don't know that they are going to be into a permanent position because I think there are other better switches. What else? First of all, let's do this. But the Ice Lotus, if you want a better version of the cilantro, I haven't tried the firecrackers yet. Supposedly they are also a better version of the cilantro. But Ice Lotus, which were on sale for their recent holiday sale, and I picked up a set of those. Loving them. Just loving them. I would really like to get a foam kit for this. I think that this would be better for me with a foam kit. But I am enjoying this, and I love this colorway. I think that this build came out super nice. Let's go back to the back. I think I'm going to be wrapping up the stream soon. Gonna go have myself some dinner. But yeah. So, and here's our side profile. Good. Do the side profile, keeping in just a little of that back weight, because that's a good shot. And then the back. And I like this slope in the back. It seems like everything seems simple and yet complex on this. Because you've got like this chamfer all around the edge, this kind of diamond cut. You've got the peek through weight or accents for the brass on the top and the sides and the front. None on the back. Doesn't need it. The bottom, this is aluminum, gold colored aluminum. This is brass. The accents are brass. And you can get the accents, by the way, in the patina. I don't know that you can get the bottom in the patina. I don't think so. No. Bottoms come in gold alu, black alu, and copper. I would totally go with the copper. But that's me. And I understand that the problems that people have with copper bottom cases, but since I use foams, it depends on the switch. Like the there are some switches that I have right now that I want to use, but I need to clean and re-lube them. I've only tried filming a switch once, and apparently I tried filming the wrong switch because I ended up breaking a couple of switches, and I gave up. And so I have not filmed another switch since then. But I do sometimes make Franken switches, like my Cherry Nixkeys have a UMPHE, whatever it is, stems in them right now, and like heavy springs. I want to change the heavy springs to lighter springs, but still not the original springs. But and then just standard lubing switches. I don't lube switches unless I have to, and buying HMX, depending on the switch, I don't have to. Like, I need to strip and re-lube my Game 1989 switches, but haven't yet. Currently, I have the Snow Crash, which got to me. Yeah, the Cherry Springs are not great, and so I switched out the Cherry Springs, but the springs that I had were far heavier than what I normally use, and I have other ones that are like their proper weight, and so I'm going to put some of those in, and then try out that again. I might even put in the original stems and try it out. But yeah, that's the only modding I do on switches, really. And I don't do as much modding on keyboards anymore because they include most of the stuff that I would do. With the case foams that are included, the plate foam, the PE sheet. I used to use PET sheets more, but I don't. Ignore that. As much anymore because I find that, again, my tastes have changed. It doesn't bring as much to the party anymore. But for a while, I was like cutting my own PET sheets, ordering specifically from vendors who would provide me with PET sheets, and I'm like, this is good. But it was for that time. My taste changed. It's cool. But yeah. That's not the right thing. Oh. Apparently nobody answered the giveaway. Maybe next time. I'll find some switches. I'll give away some switches on the next stream, which will be next Sunday. Again, I'll be looking at the RT82 and the Split 70. If I can make it. Because we're leaving town to go to CES shortly after that, I might not be able to do that because we're like leaving the next day. So I might still be packing and stuff. But we'll see. Otherwise, it'll be the following Sunday when I get back, I think. Yes. So, yeah. Yes, actually go to bed now because I'm going to actually go get dinner. I'm going to actually see if there's anybody I can... where are you coming from? Capture it. I'll need power. Anyone? Nope. I don't see any keyboard streamers right now. So I think we will just wrap it up here. Thanks, and thanks for joining me. As always, I appreciate you all. And I will either see you next Sunday or that following week. I will be streaming hopefully most of the week on the 6th through the 9th, which will be live from the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. Thank you, EvoMaker, for sponsoring that. And I mean that because they actually got me the ticket, not just footed the bill for the ticket. They actually got me the ticket, so that's awesome of them, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you, and yeah, have a great night, and bye. Or Slán, as